Hey Apex Agents, Mobius Y here with another video for Mass Effect Andromeda's multiplayer. Today is another two-part character build guide. We're taking a look at an alternative build for the Human Sentinel. This build is more focused on straight up inflicting damage with your gun, utilizing Barricade, as well as keeping yourself alive with energy drain. It's very different from the atypical energy drain throw combo that you are constantly dishing out for area damage and whatnot. With the previous Human Sentinel build, where we maxed out everything except Barricade, this one we maxed out everything except throw, but it still makes a good utility crowd control power against mooks. However, the main source of damage for this setup is just you using your gun and comboing your powers to apply decent crowd control. So, we're going to take a look at my breakdown of powers, as well as the guns that I use in the gameplay, and I'll suggest some other guns you can use, and the various consumables that I used in part 2, which is strictly gameplay, and I'll make suggestions as well. As you can see, throw is only rank 1, because we need the points for the other stuff. So that's it for throw. Barricade. Took this all the way to rank 6. You get an extra power cell at rank 2. Normally you start off with 2 power cells, which is really nice. And by default, your shield regeneration delay reduction is reduced by 40% whenever you are sitting behind your Barricade, which is really nice. You get an extra 25% duration, so it gives it a few more seconds, so it lasts about 15 seconds once you drop it. Rank 4, I actually went with the extra duration upgrade, plus 35% duration, giving it a total duration of 21 seconds. So when you place it down, it stays there for a while. You want to be able to have it last for a couple clips of gunfire. You want to be able to reload at least once or twice rather than simply throw it down, be able to shoot one really big magazine, and then have to relocate off after that very first reload. The extra power cell can be nice if you don't like visiting ammo packs as often or are really adamant to use your ammo packs on the D-pad in order to refill all your power cells. Personally, I much prefer the duration. Rank 5, weapon feedback, increases weapon damage and accuracy by 15% for all allies, including the user behind the Barricade. So this gives you a 50% weapon damage boost and a 15% weapon accuracy boost, which is really nice. So this will tighten things like shotgun pellet spread. This will make it so that slightly inaccurate guns like full auto submachine guns, or should I say machine pistols, and assault rifles will tighten their bullet spread just a little bit more and make it easier to utilize that extra damage boost you get. At rank 6, electric defense. This is a really handy defensive kind of ability to have with the Barricade. You want to be safe sitting behind your Barricade blowing off a crap load of bullets really quickly, and this will help do that. It will stun most smaller sized enemies, not big bosses like fiends or hydras or destroyers or the like, but some smaller things, basically any mook and several sub-bosses. I've even had berserkers get stunned and go through the whole stunning animation when they walk up to this. The Barricade electrocutes nearby enemies with a chance to stun them, especially damaging to shields and synthetic foes. Affected enemies are primed for combo detonations. That's the big one there, is that it not only protects you really well, but it also primes things for combo detonations. So you can hit them with a little throw, or if your shields are pretty low and you need to get them back, hit them with an energy drain, you'll still set off a tech burst. It does 125 damage per second with a 100% damage bonus to shields and an extra 15% damage bonus to synthetics, so a slightly higher damage bonus than just against shields. So it'll do about 250 points of damage per second against shields. Synthetic enemies will take about 275 or something like that. Nothing significant, but it'll do a little bit of damage over time. Like I said, nothing huge. But it's mostly the extra weapon damage and weapon accuracy that it gives you, which is important. Energy drain. This setup is a lot more selfish from the other, much more supportive kind of Sentinel class. Rank 4, extra effectiveness to restore more of your shields. Rank 5, auxiliary drain, so that it can hit multiple enemies, and it will hit a lot of enemies when you pick this one. And rank 6, extra damage for plus 35% total damage, and a pretty big damage bonus against shields, and then again a slight damage bonus against synthetics. So the base damage that it will do is 333, which doesn't sound like a huge amount, but with the extra shield damage bonus, it actually takes off shields off of sub bosses very easily, and it just makes it easier for them to be prepped and de-shielded so that you can just throw them, and if they don't have armor or anything like that, then you can knock them down and just makes it much easier to kill things, which can be super handy. Weapon training. Took this all the way to rank 6, and we went for extra weapon damage, obviously. Rank 4, weapon training, plus 8 weapon damage, which is super, super handy. Rank 5, ammo and targeting, plus 20% weapon headshot / weak point bonus, and plus 25% weapon spare ammo. You're mostly shooting your gun, so you want to go with this option. So there you got a bit more spare ammo, and when you are shooting weak points, or should I say going for headshots, you just kill things much more quickly, which is what you need to be going for. And then at rank 6, plus 10% weapon damage, plus 15% weapon accuracy, plus 15% weapon stability. This is really nice. It just makes it easier to put your damage down range, and it combos really nicely with the passive picks in tech armor, which we'll go over next. Obviously took tech armor all the way up to rank 6. At rank 4, the extra strength is not really necessary, because it's mostly the melee damage bonus that kind of shines in this one. The plus 50% weapon weight capacity really doesn't mean jack shit. You can still carry mid or high grade weapons that are heavier. You can still take 2 of them if they are a high enough grade. So the extra plus 20 damage resistance is really nice, giving you a total of 45 damage resistance. It doesn't sound huge, but it's actually pretty handy. Rank 5, stabilization, plus 15% weapon accuracy, plus 15% weapon stability, and plus 50% weapon accuracy while moving. So this extra weapon accuracy and stability bonuses combos, or should I say stacks really nicely with the passive bonus at rank 6 of weapon training. So you have extra accuracy and stability just on whatever gun you use. So your shotguns will shoot their pellets a lot tighter, especially with a smart choke, and things like automatic guns, for example, something that just dumps out a lot of ammo and can bounce around a little bit like the Cyclone Assault Rifle. It'll just be more accurate and more stable. It just makes it significantly easier to put your bullets downrange and keep repeatedly hitting headshots and weak point shots to kill things much more quickly. This is a huge deal. And at rank 6, shield feedback increases shield regeneration for 6 seconds after taking damage. This just adds some extra tankiness, plus 50% shield regeneration delay and regen delay reduction after being hit. It's way better than reactive armor because this gives you more melee damage and power restoration and defense. Whatever that is. Gives you higher shield restoration with energy drain after being shot, which isn't really that big of a deal. Definitely go with the shield feedback at rank 6. If there was something to drop, you probably could drop rank 6 of tech armor and put a couple points in throw, but all that you would really be getting out of throw is a reduction in recharge speed, dropping it down to about 7 or possibly 6 seconds, and then a little bit extra damage and force on it, which isn't really that big of a deal. And isn't going to make that much of a difference. And obviously, you get power and combo detonation damage bonuses when this thing goes up through the veteran bonuses. So when you're unlocking the character cards above grade 10, the powers do get a little bit stronger. So those combined with the initial damage and the shield damage bonuses with energy drain, all that jazz, it actually makes it very, very potent for stripping shields on mooks and sub-bosses, which is super handy. So moving on, the guns that I used in the gameplay, I actually used the Raptor just to farm some more points for completing the challenge for it. There are definitely better picks out there, though, like I previously said, the Cyclone Assault Rifle, or you could use certain shotguns like the Scatter Shot or the Hesh. Would be pretty sweet with this particular setup, especially with those accuracy and stability bonuses. Any decent assault rifle or machine pistol would be really good. You could even use an equalizer, which is super short range, but it would force you to kind of get in closer and possibly make use of the electric barricade. I brought a Talon just as backup for super short range effectiveness, but I don't think I used it in the gameplay. whatsoever. For equipment, I recommend just putting on a rail lamp, a basic rail lamp for whatever kind of gun you are using. The exception being if you're using a shotgun, you could go with a, not a Berserker package, where the hell is it? What's that one? Shock Trooper upgrade. This will give you 1 extra power cell and still increases your shotgun damage by 15%. So it's only like 5% less damage than a straight up shotgun amp. But more importantly, you get the utilitarian purposes of an extra power cell. So you get 4 power cells throughout the mission, which is super handy. Consumables, again, just put on a rail lamp for whatever main gun you're going to be using, and then put on an ammo type. The ammo type doesn't really matter. The sniper rifle rail lamp is because I used the Raptor almost the whole game, and the cryo ammo is just for the hell of it. I do actually quite like cryo ammo. It's pretty handy against armored bosses. And can prime for cryo combos really nicely. It also can snap freeze mooks sometimes if you put enough bullets on them. But for the most part, any mooks that you are dumping several bullets on to the point where they can be frozen, they're probably going to be dead anyways, especially on gold difficulty. And that should just about sum it up. There's nothing really fancy about this. Use hard cover a little bit, but also quite a bit of soft cover, and try to make use of this barricade. You can even run up to groups of enemies and try to have it so that they're not blocking your barricade placement. If you have a couple enemies right in front of you, they will prevent you from dropping it. So you got to kind of run in, angle yourself just right, and then you can drop it in the middle of 2 or 3 bad guys to stun them and prime them for tech bursts. Which can be very amusing, but is also a really good way to farm those barricade points for the challenge there. And apart from that, get behind your barricade where you're a little bit tougher. Your shields will regenerate a little bit quicker, and your gun will be more effective. It'll actually be pumping out more damage and is supposedly a little bit more accurate, although it doesn't say there in the bottom right whether or not it does. And remember that barricade has no cooldown, so if you drop one and then, say for example, you're doing some kind of an objective, you drop one right next to a device that you or somebody else is doing, and then the next device is about 5 feet away, and your barricade still has 15 seconds left, like you just dropped it 5 seconds ago. You can just run over to the next device, drop your barricade again, and it will set itself back up. But yeah, you can only have one barricade down at a time, but it has no cooldown. Just keep an eye on those power cells. Be sure to visit an ammo box, and if that's not possible, pop an ammo pack. I guarantee, I am fairly certain that ammo packs do not get used a hell of a lot by most players. As you can see, I have 332, so be sure to use those ammo packs. Because, I mean, what are you saving them for, really? That should just about sum it up. So if you want to see part 2, which is some gold gameplay with this exact setup that I showed in this character build guide, feel free to check the links in the description below, where there will be a link directly to the gameplay. And yeah, that should sum it up for this particular character build guide. If you'd like to see other character build guides, I have some older ones in the same playlist for character guides and whatnot. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And if you would like to see more Mass Effect Andromeda content from my channel, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified when I put up a new video. I release new Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer content every Tuesday prior to my weekly Andromeda streams. This has been Mobius Y for Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Good luck, Apex.